Hello everyone and welcome back. So today we have my project plan finale of 2023. We are going into a new year and I'm actually thinking of not continuing the project in 2024, and I will kind of go into the reasons why. But I did of course want to do an end of year wrap up and see how much progress overall I've made. I'm not going to be continuing the project into 2024. I might pick it up at a later date. I feel like I started doing a project plan when my collection was a bit larger. I was a bit of a makeup hoarder and I used to consume quite a lot more makeup than I do at this current moment in my life. And so my collection is just smaller. And so I don't feel the need to have like a dedicated project to ensure that I am cycling through my products, because I feel like at the moment, I mean, I still have a larger collection than anyone realistically needs, but I feel like I'm at a good place with my collection and I am genuinely using and going through a lot of my products a lot more regularly than I was before. I'm not going to be doing a project plan basically in 2024, but I thought I couldn't end the year without doing my last project plan finale. There's definitely a couple of products that I'm going to retire. Obviously we have already had a couple of empties, I think, throughout the project. There's been a couple of changes, so I will try my best to do like a nice general kind of overview for you. So let's start with the Glossier Perfecting Skin Tint. This was definitely one of my favourite base products for quite a long time, and I really enjoyed having it in this project. It's a really good mixer with other foundations if you want to thin a certain formula out, if you want to mix it with a bit of moisturiser. It's incredibly sheer, so I feel like at the moment it's almost a bit redundant in my collection because it does so little that actually if there, you know, is a day where I don't really want a heavy base, I will just skip this altogether, skip foundation altogether, and I will just use concealer. So actually this has kind of proven to be a bit redundant in my collection. It is quite old as well. There's definitely some product left in there, but when I started the project, I don't even think I was halfway through the bottle. So, you know, I've definitely made some progress. I would have liked to have finished it up, but I think I'm at the point now where I don't want to be bringing this into the new year with me. So this one is going to be saying goodbye. So we've had a couple of concealer changes. I heavily focused on my RMS and Cover Up concealer, which I did successfully empty, which was really, really good. I do really love the RMS concealer. I don't have it in my collection at the moment. It's not one that I repurchased, but I would highly recommend it and I would probably repurchase it again. I do like to try different formulas. There's always something new and exciting, so I haven't revisited that one yet, but again, it's a really lovely formula and I thoroughly enjoyed using that one. So when I finished that, I replaced it with the NARS Creamy Concealer. No, Soft Matte Complete Concealer. So this is another pot concealer. One of my favorites again. Such a lovely one to really give your skin like an airbrush finish. It's not really heavy, it's not super cakey. I find I can use it underneath my eyes. I know some people have said it's a bit too dry and a bit too heavy for that, but I personally think it's fine. And I mean, my skin is, you know, dry at the best of times, so I find just a small amount of this under my eyes, I really like it. Again, it creates such a nice airbrush finish. And we have actually made quite good progress with this. There was already a pan when I brought this into the project, so we were already cooking on gas, and I think I have expanded that pan ever so slightly. Again, this is one I probably will bring it into the new year with me because there's not a huge amount here to go through, so I think I can probably finish this up anyway at the start of next year. So another product that was quite exciting for me through the project, I really enjoyed tracking this one's progress. It's the Beauty Changemaker Powder. So I didn't even really have much of a dent in this when I started the project, and as you can see now we do have a pan. Definitely still going to prioritize this over my other face powders going forward, just because it's one that I do enjoy. You can't get Bite Beauty anymore, so I would like to have it done so I can move on to other powders that you can buy, so I can try new powders to recommend, because obviously recommending this is, you know, utterly pointless because you can't buy it anyway. It's a lovely setting powder and I'm really happy that we did hit pan. So hopefully next year, if I continue to use this one as much as I have been, because I really do use this every day. I don't use a lot of powder, So I think that's why it's probably taking me a bit longer to work through. But if I'm using powder, 9 times out of 10 is this one. So I'd like to keep that going through 2024 as well. So this next product, again, I think I'm gonna call it a day. It's in pieces at the moment, and it is of course my Film Star Bronze and Glow from Charlotte Tilbury. Oh, I don't want to tip this up too much because as you can see, the bronze side is in a million little pieces. I have a bit of product around the outside of the pan, but I've really got my money's worth with this bad boy. I mean, I've had it for such a long time. It's one of my favourite Charlotte Tilbury products. I absolutely adore it. I highly, highly, highly recommend it. They do have a mini version, which I would be very interested in picking up actually, because although I love the component and I think it's stunning, I do have other bronzers and kind of contour shades in my collection, and I do have another highlight as well from Charlotte Tilbury, so I don't feel like I would need to repurchase this larger size, but I would be interested in picking up the mini. But yeah, again, we made really good progress with this throughout the project, and I think I'm ready to part ways with it now. So next product is my Frat Boy blush from the Balm. Yes, I mean, I don't think we made any visible progress with this blush, and I think one of the reasons is because I really love blush. I have a lot of blushes in my collection and I will use a different blush every single day. Quite rare that I will revisit a blush like 3 or 4 times in a week, because I just really enjoy my collection. I love the different shades, formulas, and I'm constantly rotating between them. So that's probably why this one didn't get a lot of love from me, even when I was really into my project pan at the start. It's also a very pigmented blush, lovely shade, a really nice kind of easy everyday soft pink, super easy to wear, and it's very, very pigmented. So again, when I was using it, I wasn't using a lot of it, and so I just could never make a dent in this, let alone hit pan. I do want to keep it in my collection because I do really enjoy the shade and I think it's a really nice blush. I don't know if the Balm are about much anymore. I don't hear a lot about them. I don't see them in my local drugstores. They used to be in Boots and I think Superdrug maybe, though I don't go in Superdrug as much as I do Boots. But yeah, I don't really see them. They're not releasing any new products. I will keep it in my little rotation of blushes that I have. And when I do hit pan, when I am old and grey and hit pan, I will obviously share that because that will be a very exciting moment. So next up I have my Chanel, I'm really not in the centre here, am I? My Chanel eyeshadow. This is in Patine Bronze. This is really quite dry at the moment. Every time I use it, I have to revive it with my setting spray, which is fine. And I actually find that if I just dampen like a flat shader brush or something with some of my setting spray, I can get a fair amount of product and it applies fine on my eyes. Is it a bit of a chore? Yes, but you know, Chanel is not a cheap brand. It's a luxury brand, isn't it? And this is such a stunning eyeshadow. The formula is really nice. Obviously it's dry at the moment, but when it's like, alive and well, it's a really nice kind of putty formula. So it's not super wet. It doesn't crease at all. It stays put really nicely. This shade is a lovely bronze. It almost has a slight olivey undertone to it, which I think is why I really like it, because I find with my hazel eyes, it just looks really, really beautiful. And yeah, I just love the formula. These little Chanel pots are just so beautiful, aren't they? So I do want to keep this in my collection. And like I said, I have been able to make it work, even whilst it is in a dry state. Yeah, I don't think I've made like tons and tons of progress, even though it is one of the few cream shadows that I have and I do reach for it quite a lot. I am surprised that I haven't managed to make more of a dent in this, but yeah, I will keep it in my collection. I will probably end up replacing it next year anyway, just because I would like something that is a bit creamier. Believe it or not, when I'm buying a cream eyeshadow, the creaminess matters. So yes, this might be one that I replace anyway next year, but for now I'm going to keep it. I can make it work and I would just like to get to my money's worth, to be honest. So I then had a couple of lip product. The one that was in my project for the longest and I definitely made the most progress with is the Essence Soft and Precise Lip Liner in the shade First Love, which is a beautiful, beautiful pink. A really nice brightening shade as well, I found. It's a wooden pencil, so you can sharpen it, which means you can get a bit more precision, which I really enjoy. Also means that they are a tiny bit more long lasting because they are a touch drier. Not in like a bad way, you know, they're still creamy enough to apply and to get a really nice application, a really nice amount of colour, but they do just last a bit longer, I find, the wooden pencils. These are like £1.99 or something, like absolutely astronomically cheap. So I would recommend these, absolutely. Yeah, I feel like I've made really good progress with this one, and yes, definitely one that's going to be staying in my collection and that I will continue to use throughout next year. And then one that I put in quite late into the project actually, I think because I just wanted a bit of a change. I think I was getting a bit bored of my Essence lip liner, and because it's such a nice bright pink, I found that in the summer I was able to get a lot more use out of it, whereas in the autumn and winter I actually preferred something that was a bit more neutral. So that's when I added the Colourpop Dip Liner in BFF. I don't think I've made a ton of progress because it was quite a late entry, as I said, but it is a really nice nude lip liner. But yeah, I don't think there'll be a ton of progress on this one because it's just not been my project for too long. I will obviously continue to use a lot of these in the new year. I mean, I'm only going to be decluttering two products, so the Glossier Skin Tint and my Charlotte Tilbury Bronze and Glow. But other than that, everything else you will probably see in future videos, and I will continue to use. I will still be doing my empties videos. I really enjoy filming those. So if and when I do finish any of these products, you will see them in an empties. And of course, if I hit pan on, I think I've actually hit pan on everything apart from the blush, obviously, because, you know, that's just impossible. But if I have any major progress, major breakthroughs, then of course I will update you guys anyway. So I really hope that you enjoy. Do let me know if you are going to be doing a project pan, starting a project pan in the new year, or if you are kind of continuing to do a rolling project pan. I would really be interested to know. And I will link my project pan playlist as well down below for you. So in case you are starting a project pan, there'll be a lot of kind of inspiration, different videos there for you to go and watch. So I really hope that you enjoyed. If you did, don't forget to hit the thumbs up button and subscribe if you're not already, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.